We have a bunch of really cool stuff to go through here for future Cold War Zombies DLC. I want to go through all of the possible DLC perks we could be seeing in this game, a bunch of leaks here, some cool perk concepts, Widow's Wine, Vulture. I also want to talk about operators as well. Eddie, could we see other ones like Misty and Russman? So pretty much just a bunch of future Zombies content outside of the normal map releases. Before we go through any of that though, I want to give a huge thank you to you guys. We hit 74K on the channel. We're now only 26,000 subs away from 100,000 subscribers. It's been a dream of mine since forever now, and I really do appreciate you guys helping me out, and we're getting there real soon, man. But we gotta take it one step at a time. Next goal, 75K. We're 1,000 subs off. If you guys are new and enjoying the content, I really would appreciate if you do subscribe to the channel. Let's try to hit 800 likes in the video as well, so thank you so much for that. I want to start off by saying the second round-based Zombies map coming to Cold War Berlin, most likely releasing in Season 4, like we've been talking about, really throws a wrench into the whole DLC perk schedule that we've been saying. Very credible leaks told us that we'd see 4 extra DLC perks add to the game: Tombstone, Mule Kick, Double Tap, and PHG. There are other leaks as well in the pre-alpha files of this game, such as Electric Cherry, but most likely we're not seeing that because its ability was added to Tier 5 of Elemental Pop. Tombstone, we already got in Firebase Z DLC 1, so we're expecting these 3 other leaked perks to be added to the game very soon. And of course, we have 3 more empty spots left on the Wonder Fizz machine, so it makes sense as to why we would see these extra 3 perks added to the game. Now, I kind of originally assumed that these perks would release alongside the normal round-based maps. We saw it with Firebase Z, so I thought, okay, every new round-based map will get a new DLC perk. Field upgrades and other stuff like that, those are added in mid-season updates and alongside the Outbreak updates. But here, Berlin releasing so late, it really doesn't make sense. A bunch of leakers, insiders, and just others in the community have been saying that, you know, there's a chance we might not see 4 total DLC round-based maps like we normally do in a Treyarch Zombies game. We could very well just see DLC 2 release at the beginning of Season 4, we take a season-long break, and then at some point, maybe the beginning of Season 6, we get the DLC 3 map, and at that point, there's really no other room for a 4th DLC map unless they just cram a bunch of content towards the end of the game, which I don't know why they would do that, as opposed to just spreading it out evenly throughout the game. Unless they do that, it seems like here the schedule is showing us that we might only see 3 DLC maps. Now, if that's the case, well, what's going to happen with the last DLC perk? At that point here, we did this a while ago. The gap between Firebase Z and Berlin is 133 days, a little over 4 months. If you add 133 days to Berlin's expected release date, that will bring us to an expected release date for DLC 3 of October 28th. So the 3rd DLC perk, I guess, would release then. And at that point, again, the end of October, the new Call of Duty is already releasing. There's no room for a 4th DLC or a 4th DLC perk. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm a bit worried as to how they're scheduling this content. Again, we could be wrong. Maybe Treyarch is going to decide to give us a bunch of Zombies content. Maybe Season 6 will see 2 DLC perks released, 2 round-based zombie maps release. Maybe. I'm not so sure, but I don't know why they would do that as opposed to just spreading it out evenly throughout the game's life cycle. So I'm a bit concerned with that, but I just want to let you guys know that's what we're expecting here. That's what we're talking about. Now, for the DLC 2 perk, what are we seeing with Berlin? I have been talking about this a lot. I've been seeing a bunch of comments from you guys that you guys want to see Double Tap added to the game. I know it might be overpowered, but a lot of people want to see it, and I do think it would be a really fun and cool perk to use in the game. I haven't talked about this before, but in the recent Season 3 map that just released, Diesel, there's a really cool Double Tap teaser here. There's a poster found on the map. I was saving this for this perk video right here. I thought it made sense. Now, this again doesn't confirm that, you know, DLC 2 we're getting Double Tap, the next DLC perk, but it could be a little hint, and Treyarch likes to give us these little hints here that, you know, maybe Double Tap is up next for the DLC perks added to the game. So let me know down below, do you want to see Double Tap added to the game? Do you think it's gonna be super overpowered? Would you rather see Mule Kick? Would you rather see PHG? Let me know down below. Next thing here, let's look at a bunch bunch of different concepts. What could these perks actually do in the game? We're going to start off with the main leaked perks, because most likely here, these are the perks that for sure will be added to the game, but I want to go through a bunch of other stuff as well. What could Vulture do in this game? What could Widow's Wine do in this game? Some of my favorite perks of all time. What if a bunch of other perks are added to this game? So this guy on Reddit, Flop Until You Drop, he made a bunch of really cool concepts here. I'll leave a link to him down below. Be sure to check him out. And then after all of this, we're going to talk about some operators we could be seeing in the game as well, specifically for zombies. Double Tap Root Beer 3.0, fire rate of weapons slightly increased. Tier 1, bullets have a 5% chance to stun any enemy for 3 seconds. Tier 2, every other third bullet shot will duplicate into 3 different bullets. Tier 3, increased bullet penetration with a small chance of a bullet to burst inside of an enemy, dealing extra damage. Tier 4, bullets have a 10% chance to stun any enemy for 5 seconds. Headshots have a 15% chance to stun. And finally, Tier 5, any enemies nearby the enemy you're currently shooting will take 25% of the damage that it's currently taking. So pretty cool here. I haven't gone through any of these concepts before. Every time I do this, we look at different people's opinions and takes as to what these perks could do. Overall, this seems like a pretty good one. As we go through these, leave your own ideas down below, your criticisms and all of that good stuff. Next thing here, this could be the third DLC perk added to the game, Mule Kick. Carry a third weapon, obviously. The Mule Kick perk icon will glow when holding out your extra weapons. Tier 1, after the purchase of your third weapon, you will receive a 50% essence refund. Tier 2, extra weapons have a 15% ammo increase. Tier 3, your third weapon will deal 10% extra damage. Tier 4, purchasing Mule Kick again after going down will return any lost weapons back to you, which is really good. And Tier 5, carry a fourth weapon, which seems so insanely OP. This is a really cool concept for Mule Kick. I definitely like this one a lot. I don't know about the essence refund for Tier 1. I guess that's kind of good for the early rounds, but Tier 4, Tier 5 seems insane. So let me know what you guys think about that one. DLC 4, presumably. PhD, it wouldn't be Flopper, but we're going to call it PhD Flopper here. Immune to self-inflicted explosive damage. Makes sense. Tier 1, 50% resistance increase to non-self-inflicted explosive damage. Tier 2, carry more lethal and tactical equipment. Explosive equipment will duplicate upon throwing. Tier 3, explosive ammo weapon capacity increased. Tier 4, explosive damage increased by 30%. And Tier 5, falling from an increased height will automatically put the player into prone stance mid-air, creating a powerful explosion when landing on the ground, and will stand back up automatically afterwards. Now, Tier 5, I don't know if they would actually add that feature into the game, but that definitely sounds really cool, and overall a really cool concept for PhD in the game. Now here, this is a bit less likely, but I want to see it, of course. Vulture Elixir. Enemies have an increased chance to drop extra ammo, equipment, essence, and salvage. So Tier 1, see locations of perks, Pack-a-Punch, wall weapons, ammo, and the mystery box through walls. Tier 2, enemies will constantly appear on your radar and will never disappear from it until death. Tier 3, enemies have a 10% chance to emit a green cloud upon death. Standing in it will make you invisible for 10 seconds. Tier 4, increase clip size and ammo carrying capacity of all weapons. And finally, Tier 5, enemies will drop double the amount of ammo, equipment, essence, and salvage. So really cool here. I love Vulture. We only saw it on Buried, and I would love to see it add to Cold War Zombies, maybe on the Buried remake potentially. That'd be really sick. Now, Widow's Wine, another fan favorite perk of a lot of people, me included. I love Shadows of Evil. Widow's Wine on Shadows just hit different. So Widow's Wine here, getting hit by a melee attack while missing health will cause a cobweb explosion that will decay or slow enemies nearby. You could store up to 3 charges every round. Tier 1, Cobweb Explosion will affect a larger radius. Tier 2, Cobweb Explosion lasts twice as long. Tier 3, the amount of charges you could store has been increased to 5. Tier 4, Sliding will create a cobweb trail that slows down any enemies inside of it. 30-second cooldown on that one. And Tier 5, charges are now time-based instead of round-based. 30 seconds to regenerate a charge, which would make it so you're getting those charges so insanely often. That one sounds OP, but really cool as well. I'd love to see that added to the game. Some more perks here. Electric Cherry 2.0. This is most likely not going to be added again. We talked about it being added to Elemental Pop Tier 5, but it's cool to look at, you know, what if it is added to the game, what would it do? So Electric Cherry 2.0, when hit by an enemy with a melee attack, there is a slight chance that the enemy will be electrocuted, either stunning or killing them depending on the player's health. Tier 1, swapping weapons will electrocute nearby enemies. 15-second cooldown. Tier 2, melee attacks will sometimes electrocute enemies. Tier 3, increased chance of enemy electrocution, highly increased chance of a special enemy electrocution. Tier 4, multiple enemies will be electrocuted within your radius upon being hit. And finally, Tier 5, running for so long will build up an electrical force field around the player that kills any enemy that touches it, lasts for 10 seconds. And finally here, this one is purely for the meme, no chance of getting this here, but Who's Who 2.0. This is pretty much already Tombstone in the game, but let's just see what this guy has to say here about Who's Who. So, upon being inflicted by a certain amount of damage, a doppelganger will pop out of you and run around, focusing the attention of any enemies on them instead of you. If you go down before you finish drinking any other perk, you will still have that perk when you get back up. Tier 1, doppelgangers now stay out on the field for twice as long. Tier 2, the number of doppelgangers that pop out have been increased to 3. Tier 3, doppelgangers now pop out with whatever weapon you're holding, helping you fight enemies. Tier 4, doppelganger weapon damage increased by 15%. You will now obtain half of the essence of enemies they kill. And finally, Tier 5, when down, a doppelganger will revive you without perk decay. Who's Who 2.0 is always lost after that revival. So that is definitely a really interesting and different take on what we could see with Who's Who in the game. Definitely not similar to what we see right now at Tombstone, and I'm glad he actually decided to go with a different route here. All of these different like AI characters that help you out. Really cool. Let me know down below, what perks do you really want to see out of all the perks we talked about in this video added to the game. Now for operators, what are the operators in terms of the zombie storyline which really have the most chance of being added to the game? I think for me, Eddie is a huge one. We're going to see the Eddie operator at some point. Weaver is bound to happen. Kravchenko, bound to happen too. And increasingly now, Valentina as an operator, I could easily see she is getting a bigger role in this Dark Aether story. She might be the main part of this story coming up in Berlin. So I could definitely see a Valentina operator in this next DLC update. For other operators that are a bit more of a stretch, maybe again some of the old characters, Misty, Russman, the Victus crew. If we do get the Zombie Chronicles 2, I would definitely see those characters being added as operators. Again, this is a stretch, maybe Primis, Ultimis. It would be so cool to see those characters. Again, they might have to get different voice actors because most of the voice actors probably won't be assigned again. Nolan North said he's not voice acting Richtofen. He could have been lying, but most likely he was saying and telling the truth there. And, you know, we'll have to see how that works out in the game. Would people want to see an Eddie character or a Primis Ultimis character with a different voice actor? Other zombie characters in the past that would be really sick as operators, Dr. Monty would be so cool. I've been joking around, maybe just a straight up Panzer operator. I mean, if they really decide to go hard and just say screw it, I could see in a year 2 of Black Ops Cold War, if they really just say, you know what, we're gonna add any type of operator, I could see a Panzer operator, maybe the OG Maxis, Ludwig Maxis in the game. That would be really sick as well. So a bunch of ideas here. Let me know down below any zombies related operator you would want to see in the game. But again, the most likely zombie related operators that could be coming up very soon: Eddie, Weaver, Kravchenko, Valentina, probably some other ones in the zombie storyline in Cold War right now that I'm not mentioning, but most likely they will be added very soon. Let me know down below anything else you want me to talk about for future videos. Thank you guys for watching the entire video. Really do appreciate it. Leave a comment down below, zombies, if you did. So thank you guys so much for that. Shout out to the YouTube channel members as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace out, guys.